Yo, what's up? Safa1. Today is SB 404 day, or I guess just 404 day. I just wanted to talk about the update and features of the 404 Serato integration and how I just don't care about any of it. And by the way, this is not me complaining. I could care less. Here's a bit of context about what I think about this type of stuff. When I mean this stuff, I mean like updates, features, etc. And people that like to complain about it or not, whatever. For example, Akai has the 3.4.3 update and a lot of people were complaining about it. And now Roland has just updated the SB404 Mark II. And again, a lot of people are complaining about it. And I just don't care. I don't see what the point of it is. To complain, I mean. Like, you know, I get it to an extent, but at the same time, it's like, if you're buying a piece of machine or a device to make music with, and you're expecting companies to upgrade, put new features on it, like, what is the point? Like, what is the purpose of it? Why not just forget about that and make music? I think this aspect of waiting for upgrades and new features are so, in my opinion, a waste of time and kind of dumb, because what was the point of buying that device in the first place? Would you think that buying a piece of gear and then waiting for it to get upgraded, would you have bought it if you knew that the set of features it has were already limiting enough for you to not make music with? Basically, what I'm trying to say is, if there was never going to be another update for these devices, would you have bought them in the first place? Now think about it like that. If you buy a piece of gear and start complaining about the fact that they didn't upgrade it to what you wanted it to be, then I feel like you shouldn't have bought it in the first place. Of course, buy whatever you want, that's your choice. But people are complaining about upgrades and features, and I think it's just kind of dumb, because it's like, the intention of these devices are to make music. I'm gonna go back to the MPC for a second. I know it's Roland's day today, but you can revert back to an earlier version of the MPC, and I think that's awesome. Like, for those of you who want to just use the older version of it, you can. And for those that want to use the newer version, you can. And I don't think it really matters which version you use. What matters the most is, what do you have going on with your sound, with your track, with your beat, with your whatever you're producing on it, whatever you're making on it. What do you got? Like, let's see what you have, instead of just worrying about an upgrade. Now, of course, there's a difference when you have a certain level of expectations from a company that says they promise something and they don't fulfill the promise. That's a different story, because I understand some people are looking forward to certain features and upgrades. But my thought process on this, on upgrades in general and features, is, who cares? Just make music. When I was mainly using FL Studio, I was stuck on 11, or yeah, I think it's 11. Now it's like at 20 or more. I can't remember, to be honest. They upgrade it every year anyways. So like, and they upgrade it so much that like, I just don't care. The main function of it is for me to just go in, make a beat, do some recording, and dip, and I'm out. When you buy a car, are you buying it just because it's for the features, or are you buying it because you want to get from point A to point B? Now, if these devices are like vehicles and you need to get from point A to point B, but you're complaining about what features it doesn't have, then you should have really thought about buying it in the first place before you bought it. Anyways, that's just some like thoughts that I have. All right, so I'm just gonna make a quick beat and stop my little rant. That was earlier what I did on my live stream. I made 4 beats. I'm going to choose some sounds. Clap. That's cool. All right, and now maybe some toms. Chord, I think I was at C. And That's fine. Now I'm going to pause that and chop this sample up. Ten chops, probably don't need all of them, and let's put them into a mute group. Not that one, all right. And then pitch it down. Just like that. Mute everything except for the sample chops. That way I can take the low frequencies out because it's way too boost some of the mid and high, but the low frequencies, something like that. That's cool. And now let's resample this into here. And that's it. Now all I need is a bass drum, or a bass line I mean, and that's pretty much it. So I like the bass, but I want to change my kick. That would work. Perfect. Now it sounds like a kick instead of just like another bass frequency that was underneath the bass. That's better. If you wanted to check out the other beats I made, they're on my live, like my live feed, I guess, whatever. And yeah, peace out. Catch you in the next one.